entertainment is the green zone, which can be found on the screens in front of you. From the greenery of my home to the vast mysteries of the great outdoors, there's so much in this natural world to explore. And if you have something green to share, let me know in the comments below.
Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to the HeyEunziverse. This is going to be a massive video because I apparently went extra crazy in 2022, but hopefully it's a fun ride. I'll be going through a bunch of plants in my collection, most if not all of which I have never shown on the channel yet, and the amount that they've grown since I've gotten them. All these plants were purchased in 2022 and I filmed the updates on December 21st, 2023. There were many ups and some downs, but overall it's been a rewarding experience to be on this plant parent journey, so let's get started. Sidebar: unless there's a long story behind a plant, I'll just be breezing through these. I will make notes on the screen if a plant has died, as Unplant Parenthood would say, or if I skipped it because they were featured in a different video. I skipped the strings because I made a Carapegia species spotlight, so if you want to check that out, I'll have it linked below. As for the Hoyas, they should have been in the last unboxing update based on the timeline of when I bought them, but I included them here instead to allow them more time to grow. Unfortunately, the Hoya linearis didn't make it, but the Hoya curtisii is doing wonderfully. The first time I got Hoya nummulariioides, it came to me rotted. Whatever pieces I could salvage, I potted up and I was given store credit for the value of the plant. Unfortunately, those cuttings did not make it. With the store credit, I tried my hand at Maranta Lemon Lime, Red Maranta, and Variegated Maranta, but they did not like me at all. The Hoya Serpens is such a cute Hoya, but after giving me a leaf here and there, the poor thing finally croaked on me during the summer of this year. As you can see, the Philodendron Campus Portuanum was growing quite a bit for me. But the growth didn't look as healthy as I felt like they had the potential to be, so I chopped out the plant. What I've featured in this video is one of the cuttings, and I'm trying to grow the rest of the propagations outside. I'll update you on that in a later video. The Hoya Pachiclata was the first Hoya to ever bloom for me. It bloomed during the summer of this year, and I can't wait for it to bloom again for me next summer. I fell in love with the Hoya Chelsea as soon as I pulled it out of the box, but it slowly dropped several leaves and refused to grow any new ones. I think the seller gave me a plant that they had used as a mother plant because there were many chopped points. It also went through root rot once, so I removed all the roots and started over with it a few weeks ago. After that, it rooted beautifully and has given me several healthy new leaves. This gave me the impression that the nodes were fairly exhausted and the plant just didn't have the energy to spend on new leaves with the old root system it had. In case you may not have known, the Hoya Crimson Princess has inner variegation, while the Hoya Crimson Queen has outer variegation. Which do you prefer? Or do you love them both equally like I do? I tried the Hoya Numerarioides a second time to replace the first one that didn't make it. The second try was extremely successful and I got blooms from it as well this summer. I also have several rooted cuttings of it that are growing just as vigorously as the mother plant. I featured the begonias in a species spotlight as well, so I don't have any updates here. And my last standing Maranta, the Maranta Silver Band, may be featured in a future Garbage to Green episode, so I won't be featuring that one either. Similarly to the Philodendron Campus Portuanum, I chopped up the Epipremnum and Plasmodium Silver, and most of it is growing outside. Those ones actually look so much better than the one I have growing inside, so I hope to feature them soon in an upcoming video as well. I almost lost the Hoya fungi to not enough water. It was extremely wrinkly and not doing well. This was when I was still using pots with drainage holes. After switching to no drainage, the leaves plumped back up and has been growing like a monster ever since. The Hoya lacinosa, on the other hand, had been growing wonderfully up until a few weeks ago. I've been dealing with mealybugs and root mealies, and this is a plant that suffered badly. It's been chopped up and left to reroot, so it's not looking its best. I hope to have better news soon. When I was buying the Hoya black margin, as the listing stated, I initially thought that maybe it was a Hoya MA07 because it looked so different from the Hoya verticulata / parasitica that I got earlier that year. But after seeing several more leaves come in, I believe that they're both verticulata, so I potted them up together. Christmas holly goldfish plant came to me completely rotted, so I don't have any photos and I received a refund for it. The Hoya Rebecca is also in the same boat as the Hoya lacunosa in that it was hit badly by mealies. But before its decline, it was one of my bushiest and fastest growing Hoyas, so I was really sad when I had to chop it up. Thankfully, although it's only been about a week, I'm happy to announce, perhaps prematurely, that one of the cuttings has already started to push a root. So hopefully, I can restore it to its full glory sooner rather than later. Since mealybugs have been a problem for me and my Hoya babies, let me show you some snippets of how I manage them. These tiny, white, fuzzy, bean-shaped pests are usually found sitting on the stem or on the node where the leaf meets the stem. I was getting lazy on pest management and the mealybugs have spread to several of my Hoyas. I've found that the most effective way to eradicate them is to constantly check the plants, especially if I've seen mealies on certain ones before. If I do find one, or several, I grab isopropyl alcohol, douse a Q-tip with it, and dab it on the mealybugs. When you do that, they instantly turn terracotta colored and die. By staying on top of them in this way, the population of mealybugs drastically declines. When I find them in their roots, I usually do a treatment of alcohol when I water those plants. If it gets really bad though, then desperate times call for desperate measures and you'll have to chop off all the roots and start the plant over like I had to do with the Hoya Rebecca. This method is obviously risky, so it's much better to stay on top of it before it gets to that point. Unlike me. The Hoya rotundiflora has been going through some root rot issues, but hopefully it'll bounce back. Its once firm leaves are now a bit thin and wrinkly. On the other hand, I was surprised by this Hoya David Comingii a few days ago because it's pushing a bloom in the winter. I'm excited to see what it looks like and smells like in person. With all my Anthuriums that I currently have, except for the Anthurium andrianums and the Anthurium black cobra, I'm not sure what I'm doing if I'm being honest. There were periods of good growth where the leaves would steadily emerge larger and larger, then suddenly they would revert in size or not grow at all. After a while, the old leaves die off and I'm left wondering if it'll ever grow again, so it's still a work in progress. I'm hoping to buy TPS billion soon, which is a mycorrhizal inoculant, and hopefully that will make a difference in all my plants. My Epipremnum amplyssimum variegata is growing steadily, but wasn't exactly the kind of variegation that I was looking for. Until the most recent leaf, it kept producing half moons. I had seen other specimens of this plant that had splashy variegation, and I hoped that future leaves of my plant would produce something like that. But I haven't had much luck, and once the variegation hardens to white, those sections would eventually crisp and melt off. I haven't decided how to go about growing this in the future, like whether I should chop it and see if the variegation will produce differently. When I do, I'll update you. And finally, 2 more Anthuriums to end the year. The Anthurium Dock Block crossed with Dark Bessier Af was growing wonderfully until the summer. After giving me about 3 new leaves, the last leaf to emerge randomly crisped up before even opening. Since then, it hasn't pushed any more leaves. The old leaves have been yellowing one by one, and I'm left with just this one. But it also doesn't look that great. The roots are growing well, but I'm still waiting on a new leaf. In comparison, the Anthurium crystallinum has given me 2 large leaves in the time that I've had it. This is not including the new leaf that was emerging when I got the plant. It was repotted twice because the roots grew so vigorously, so it took some adjusting before it gave me any new leaves from cataphyll. During one of the repotting sessions, I had broken the tip of the cataphyll, so when a new leaf was emerging from it, it ripped a section of the leaf. I was pretty sad about it, but because the leaf was so much larger than the ones it came with, it eased the pain a bit. The next leaf after that, which is the most recent leaf, came in basically perfect, though it's a bit smaller than the one before it. I love both of these Anthuriums dearly, and I hope to have better updates in the future. To summarize, in 2022, I acquired a whopping 52 plants, lost 10 of them within the 2 years I've been growing them, and left 4 out of this update because they are featured in other videos. So these are how the 38 remaining plants have been doing in my care. I have learned so much while nurturing them, and I clearly still have a lot more to learn. I am thankful to have been in a place where I could cross off so many wishlist plants. Let me know which plant of mine you like the best, which plants you also have in your collections, and which plants you acquired that I don't have. I'd love to know what kind of plant gains you made in 2022 and 2023. Wishing everyone a happy holiday on Monday, or if you don't celebrate anything, wishing you a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
As we come in for a landing, Carnia and I hope you had as much fun as we did on today's adventure. Until next launch, let's stay connected.